Well, good morning and welcome to PLMA's 2012 Private Label Trade Show. Well, it may be threatening snow in Chicago, but it's really a beautiful day here at the Rosemont Convention Center as PLMA's annual event opens up for business. On the news desk today with me, as always, is PLMA President Brian Sharoff.
Good morning. Good morning. Well, the question is, are you ready for another year of show coverage direct from the show floor?
Always, as always. I love doing this every year. In fact, I was on the show floor this weekend to watch the carpenters and the electricians and the exhibitors setting up for the show, and this is what we saw. You know, it takes a lot of people to make the PLMA trade show happen. There's 23 countries represented, almost 1,100 exhibitors, so we wanted to go around and find some of the folks that actually do the job of making it happen. And this is how we're going to do it. So how are you guys doing today? Really, where are you going?
2911.
Here, hop on, I'll give you a ride.
Are you sure?
Yeah, totally. Cool. See ya. It looks like you have a pretty complicated setup here. Tell me a little bit about it.
Well, those are our chili and cheese dispensers right there. Our chef is excited to start cooking this year. He's going to have cheese fries out, and mac and cheese, and a layered guacamole dip, and so we're super excited about the show this year.
You know what I'd be really excited about? If you guys delivered. I'm over at the Hyatt, and I was just thinking maybe you could...
Sure.
Thanks.
See you anyway?
I don't know. I'm new here. So how many people did it take to get this in? Seriously? Really? Somebody give that man some WD-40. Are we good?
Perfect.
Over the years, we decided that we wanted to create something that was like a home, where the retailers would feel comfortable to come in. Kitchen on the front side, as you can see, beverages on the back side, upstairs dining area and meeting area.
Okay, one question. Where's the bathroom?
The bathroom is evolving. It's not here, and we didn't want to bring in the porta potty for this year.
This is aloe vera drink that we're featuring this year. We also have coconut water this year. Lots of other products too, but yeah, all in, we're probably talking several months to get everything put together.
Does any of that go well with vodka? No, I think that's got to go the other way.
Yeah, she's right. You guys want to film us? We don't know.
3 women are doing this whole thing by themselves. I just want to give you guys a round of applause. Everybody,
Thank you.
No, give yourselves a round of applause. Here, I'll hold that.
Thank you.
So as you can see, tons of great people go into making the PLMA trade show so wonderful. But I got to tell you, my favorite part of the whole thing is riding around on this.
You know, we've assembled an experienced team to help us report the show this year. Michael Sansolo, who's former editor of Progressive Grocer, contributing editor of Morning Newsbeat, is our man on the show floor. And
David Merrefield, former editor-in-chief of Supermarket News, will be on hand with interviews from the show floor as well. And Tim Simmons is also an industry veteran. He's going to be covering the featured speakers and seminars.
You know, we've added David Skarie, who retired as co-CEO of RailCorp last year, to give us commentary and insight from an experienced manufacturer's point of view.
So where do we begin? Well, I think one place to begin is right in the Rosemont lobby, where PLMA's Pet Care Pavilion is highlighting the new importance that retailers are giving pet food and pet accessories. Michael Sansolo has this report.
Hey Jodi, you know, ordinarily when I walk around the floor here at PLMA, you see me eat an awful lot of products, and I have to tell you, I'm not sure that's going to happen. First of all, I'm not hungry enough to eat a dog bone like this, and frankly, I don't eat dog bones. But this is a really cool part of the floor this year. What PLMA has done here is they've created a little exhibition all about pet food and pet care. Now, as you think about this category, there are a lot of reasons to come here and see what's happening. Pet food and pet care are a really interesting part of the supermarket, and in fact, part of every store you go into these days. We're talking about a category where sales in the United States top $20 billion a year. But here's what's so unique about it. People feel differently about their pets. People are really devoted to their pets, so a lot of the things they'll do to their own diets, they now do for their pets. And when you walk around in here, you're going to see organic dog food, you'll see gluten-free dog and cat food, because people want their pets to eat the way they're eating. You're also going to get a sense of simply the pampering that goes on for pets. And let me give you a quick description of this, Jodi. Inside this pavilion, we've got an area where we have all the traditional supermarket operators, including people like Kroger and Safeway and Publix. Also, folks like Whole Foods, who obviously do a lot with organic and natural for pets. Along the back wall, we've got stuff from all the exhibitors on the trade show floor. And let me tell you, there's a lot more on the floor than is in here. So you can see items like this and figure out where to check it out on the trade show. And then right behind me, these are the non-traditional players who we all know do a lot of business these days. Products for pets at Walmart, at Target, CVS, and Walgreens. All of this geared to reaching out to the consumer who they know loves their pets, and people do want to pamper their pets. So it's totally worth a trip for everybody down here to the Pet Care Center to just get a sense of the color, the excitement, and the variety that is pet food today. And Jodi, maybe the two of us will share lunch today. Back up to you, kiddo.
Thank you so much, Michael. Well, another high point of the show to many visitors is PLMA's Idea Supermarket, where more than 60 gondolas are on display with products and packaging from retailers around the world. Kurt Goldschmidt takes a look at a couple of things that caught his eye.
Thanks, Jodi. What are retailers in other countries doing with their private label programs? One way to find out is to visit this year's Idea Supermarket. There you will find more than 50 gondolas filled with products and packaging from supermarkets, hypermarkets, and discounters and drugstores around the world. One of the first interesting ideas I happened upon while touring the Idea Supermarket this year? From France, the retailer Intermarché has shown how regional specialties sourced from the French countryside and the centuries-old traditions of its smaller producers can translate into a line of destination products called Itinéraire des Saveurs, literally the path of flavors. On display in the Idea Supermarket were cheeses of local origination in Normandy in the north. The rice of Camargue tells the story of its cultivation since 1850 along the delta of the Rhone River, while a fruit preserve is made of select figs that are grown in Provence. In Scandinavia, the excitement of regional tastes is also a big factor in selections from the retailer Axe Food. In this case, however, the region of interest is along the border of Mexico. Now, no one would ever imagine there's even a measurable community of ethnic Mexicans, or Texans for that matter, who make up the population in Sweden. Yet here we find not just a Fiesta brand on chili flavor tortilla chips, not just a salsa for dipping, but a complete Tex-Mex dinner kit with tortillas, taco sauces, and seasonings. Here's another fun concept that's designed just for kids, but it's really for their parents who want their children to eat the foods that are good for them. The Belgian retailer Delhaize, yes, the same Delhaize that owns Food Lion and Hannaford supermarkets here in the US, has turned their signature Delhaize lion into a kid-friendly cartoon mascot for a line of health-conscious products. It includes vitamin-enriched real fruit juice boxes, a sparkling apple cider, a pack of 100% fruit smoothies in a fun, shelf-stable squeeze pouch, plus a multigrain breakfast cereal. These are just a few items that caught my eye. When you make the rounds of the show floor, be sure you pay a visit to the Idea Supermarket. You may find a great new idea for your company. Back to you, Jodi.
Thank you so much, Kurt. So, what are manufacturers thinking about at this year's show? What are their priorities? Brian is joined by our special guest, David Skarie, who's here in our studio to talk about this very important subject. Gentlemen?
David Skarie spent more than 40 years in the food industry and has been to more than 20 of PLMA's shows. So, David, here we are, the beginning of a show. What is going through the mind of a manufacturer? What is it they are thinking as the show begins?
Well, I think one of the things that they're obviously all looking at is how do I get my volume to increase based on what's going on in the economy, and then what are the offerings that I'm bringing to my retailers?
So we have we really have a very large assortment of manufacturers. We have big companies like RailCorp and ConAgra and Bay Valley and so on. And then we have smaller companies that are, they're not mom and pop, but they really are relatively small companies. Put your mindset as if you were a small company. What are you thinking about if you're a small company?
I guess what I would look at is, depending upon who I was competing with, is what can I bring to that retailer that's maybe different than what the bigger company can. It might be some uniqueness in a product line that I can bring to them. It may be something that I can do on a speed basis and bringing a product together, or even something like trying new product categories that I would get some input from the retailer on.
Now, when one walks the show floors, one sees the typical personality of the exhibitor wanting to meet a retailer. When you were in charge, did you go out and get the retailers to make appointments, or did your company stand there and wait for the retailer to come to you?
I think it was a mix, obviously. I mean, most often you make arrangements before the show even starts, when to meet them. As you can tell by walking around, many of the companies have meeting rooms, and they're all set up on appointments. And the other piece is some retailers didn't want to make appointments, so that's why you needed to man the booth, and you knew that you couldn't be wandering around the floor for long periods of time, especially if you knew that 2 or 3 key retailers were going to be in on that day.
You know, sometimes when we talk to exhibitors, what I hear is that there are so many different ways for a manufacturer to communicate with a retailer nowadays that the role of the trade show has changed. Did you find that?
I think it changed quite dramatically from the first time I went to as I was leaving the industry. And I think part of it is it's an opportunity to see what's going on in other categories. We were a little bit different because we were an acquiring company, so we were looking at maybe potential companies that might become part of RailCorp. But I think if you're not in that position, if you haven't seen a customer, you're probably not going to see them for the first time at the trade show. So you really have to do is make sure that your whole organization is ready to have quick hits on what's going to happen when you see the retailer that you really want to see.
One of the benefits of being in a trade show like the PLMA show, I'm told, is not only do you have a chance to meet customers, but you have a chance to meet your own personnel. In other words, there are companies that are spread out all over the U.S., overseas. This is a place for them to bring a variety of sales, marketing, operations all together, and to plan strategies.
I think that is a great opportunity because whether or not you have a sales meeting or if you have a company meeting, this gives you the opportunity to have maybe in a short period of time, seeing what's going on and then deliver it to the folks that are here, not only working with their customers, but meeting other people within the organization. So it's a great opportunity to be able to do that.
One of our members was telling me that his company is run by a man who's in his 80s. He's from the old school, and his idea of a trade show is write orders. I go to the trade show, I expect you to write orders. If you don't write orders, don't go to the trade show. Does that philosophy really work?
I don't think we write many orders anymore at a trade show, and I do remember those days, but I think this is more about relationship building and at the same time concept discussions versus writing that order. We don't write as many orders anymore. They usually come in via some kind of electronic process.
Got it. So the rest of the day will be on the show floor. People will be meeting, buyers, sellers, and so on. And we'll be talking again about where our trade show is going and what's happening in the next edition of PLMA Live.
Thank you. I look forward to it.
Good.
One new event at the show this year was the first meeting of WISE, women who are involved in marketing and promotions of store brands. David Merrefield spoke with Peggy Davies, one of the organization's founders.
Hi, Peggy. Thanks for joining us today here at the PLMA show. As mentioned, you are, of course, a founding member of the new organization called WISE, in addition to being a vice president of McCain Foods USA. Now, let's focus our attention, though, on the WISE organization that had its inaugural meeting today. What is WISE, and what are its goals?
WISE stands for Women Impacting Store Brand Excellence. We hope to, over time, be able to have a diverse network of people, both men and women. We would like to be able to offer some informal mentoring, professional development, and also reach out to other people to possibly network with them so that we can help both the men and the women as part of our organization to build a stronger career and have a lot of longevity in the business, as I have been lucky enough to have over all those years.
All right, you've mentioned how in a broad sense, WISE has a slate of goals, but a lot of these goals have to be effectuated inside member companies. How will that happen?
By the start of our inaugural event here at PLMA, we have hopefully generated some enthusiasm, and we have enticed some companies to join us on this journey. And we hope that through membership and partnership, we're going to be able to start to offer programs that will lead us down a very robust path where we'll be able to offer quite frequently different programs, mostly around professional development, and we'll be able to continue to grow our membership because right now obviously it's very small, but we have big plans, and we hope over time it'll be a very effective organization.
Now, to get back to the core of the mission, why do store brands need a woman's influence anyway?
Well, if you look at the trends and some of the publicity, men are starting to have a bit more influence, doing a bit more shopping, helping around the house a little bit more. But at the end of the day, it's still the women who are carrying the bulk of the workload. And we want to make sure that our store brand companies are marketing to those women who are both shoppers and consumers. We want to make sure that as store brands has gained momentum over the last number of years, we can continue to keep that momentum. We've gained a lot of confidence over time, and our marketers are definitely engaged to be able to market to those consumers in a new way and to be able to battle the national brands.
And those who are interested in WISE, if I'm correctly informed, can find more information right here at the show by going to the Sky Hall, booth number 55. Absolutely.
We will be manning the booth, all of the 16 women that are on the board of directors throughout the time at the show. And if by chance there's no one there, we have a nice sign that tells people where they can go on the show floor, particularly the Sky Hall, to be able to find one of us to learn more information.
Thank you, Peggy.
Thanks, David.
Thank you so much, David. Well, I guess that wraps up this morning's report.
Well, for Jodi and myself, so long, and we'll see you this afternoon for our next edition of PLMA Live's trade show coverage.